Howdy, y'all. Mediocre Magic Man back at it again, back into Dominaria for another draft. So this pack has some interesting choices in it because Joyro Weatherlight Captain is a mythic that is worth the effect, but also Icy Manipulator is one of the best cards in the set. The key part here being, if we were in either red or blue already, we would take Joyro because there are enough historic triggers that drawing cards is, I think, more powerful than removal. But the key here is that if we take it now, we don't know if we're going to be able to play it because we don't know what's open. We could get totally cut out of both red and blue here, which makes Icy Manipulator the safe pick, although it is significantly less powerful. So it's a very tough call out of this pack. I think I had to take Manipulator. I'm gonna regret it, but oh no, two-headed giant. We could have taken Joyra. This card I think is undervalued. They took an uncommon, so they could have had an equally powerful uncommon that they took, but this card goes around way late, even though, I mean, it's still a 4/4 for 4, which is decent value, particularly in your red decks. That's above rate for most red creatures. And then it's got upside. I mean, you aren't likely to get it, but it still can still get there. It's either that or the Academy Drake out of this pack. This is not a very strong pack. I could also consider Dark Bargain, but I don't really want to take that until I'm already in black. Or Sapling Migration. I think I'm just going to take the Giant. Wow, so these are some relatively weak packs. I think right now Rona is probably the best card to pick here. We're not really committed to any colors. Two-headed giant is not strong enough to push us into red. And Rona can get some good card advantage later on in the game. It's extremely slow card advantage, but in a format like this where things can get pretty grindy, it's a good card to have. So I think it's going to be the pick here. So, Deep Freeze and Fungal Infection are the cards that I'm looking at out of this pack. They're both decent strength and fit in to be able to play Rona. Problem is that Deep Freeze, if we're playing blue-black, then we don't have a huge number of flyers, and Deep Freeze still leaves them with a decent blocker. Fungal Infection leaves you with a creature and can help you win combat, but is far more situational. Whereas Deep Freeze, if they've got a big threat with an effect, this just stops it right there. It's a tough call. I think I want to go with the Infection here, though. I think that if we could end up with saplings and things, it'll end up better. We're still not committed to blue, and I think black is I think it's a little bit of a stronger card. Black is a slightly stronger color too, I believe. But that is debatable. These are not good packs. Squee is okay. It's double red. It would be our second double red card. We might end up in like red-black here. Yeah, I just don't like any of these other cards. Okay, so red-black would not be too bad if we had Garna the Blood Flame in our deck. This card's got a lot of like ways to use it. Even if you don't have any creatures that died, you can still flash it in end of turn if you got a big threat to play, because then your threat will have haste, and that can usually, your opponent doesn't see that coming, and can lead to a pretty big advantage. So I think we're going to take Garna here. So now that we've taken Garna, the clear pick for us is Fungal Infection. We probably won't run more than 2. They're not that great, but it's something I'm happy to pick up here. Keldon Overseer is also fine. It's not fantastic, but I will play it. So we'll just go with nothing really exciting, but it's a 2-drop. And it is in our colors. Yeah, I'm definitely taking the collar here. I think the last pack had Rat Colony in it as well, but I'm just very down on Rat Colony. I hope to one day live the dream and run a bunch of Rat Colonies in Tetsuko, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. I'd rather have a 2-2 than a 2-1. It could become a 3-1 or a 4-1, but either way, it's still not exciting for me. Hey, here's a 2-2 that can actually do things. I don't have any kicker spells, but... Well, actually, that's not true. I do have the Overseer, but if I'm kicking the Overseer, it actually works out pretty well with the Goblin, because you take away a blocker, and then they're likely to not be able to double block the Menace. But, honestly, if you're kicking Overseer, you're already doing pretty well anyway. I guess the Excavator, that's how bad Compass is. I might be running 3 colors, and I'm still going to pick a card in the 3rd color rather than the Compass. So, not a whole lot for us here. I'm thinking about possibly trying to do a splash blue here, because I could splash both Rona and Raph. What am I thinking? I'm not white. I just like Raph. Raph is so powerful, but I can't do it. So the pick here has got to be Windgraced Acolyte. Wow. We should have been red, blue, splash white. You know, maybe it wasn't too late there. It's too late now. Wow. There is another Raph that are we gonna pass it? No, yeah, we are, because Memorial to Folly is good for our deck. So we're pretty heavy into red here. Unfortunately, though, we still don't have any of the red removal spells, which is kind of worrisome at this juncture. Wow. So, white is way open here, but do we change lanes into white and just cut our black? On Sierra's Wings is a very powerful card, but it is also an enchantment, which opens you up to being 2 for 1. I think that if we probably could have taken the first two rats and then been on the white train here, just cut the black. Been trying to run red, white, blue, but I think that at this point we can't. Alright, fight with fire. There's finally a reward for being in red. I mean, it's efficient removal. 5 damage will kill most of your threats, and then if you get to the point where you can kick it, it will just decimate a board state and can win you a game on the spot or turn around a game that looks like you were losing just by killing a bunch of creatures. It's a clear pick here. Would be nice if we could pick up some, I forget what that guy is called. The 1/3 that you can kick to bounce a spell from your graveyard to your hand. Get to Chronicler. That's what we need. We need a couple of those so that we can recur our Vicious Offering and Fungal Infection, because we do not have a lot of removal, so recurring it would be nice. I don't like Chainer's Torment. The effect is too slow. I think that if you got the creature right away, then it might be good in an aggressive deck. But as it sits now, your opponent can see it coming, and they can hold up removal for it, or bounce even, because it's a token. So I'm just down on Chainer's Torment. I don't think I've ever played it, and I think every time my opponent has played it, they have lost. I think I'm going to go with Radiating Lightning. It's going to go into the sideboard, but there are enough decks where they're playing enough 1/1s, like Sapperling decks, where you want to have one sitting around in the sideboard. So I don't have enough kicker spells to warrant trying to splash Halar, although it is powerful. So I think the pick here... Do we want a third Fungal Infection? Given that the deck is looking pretty aggressive, each subsequent trick looks better and better to me, so I think that that's the pick here. Rampaging Cyclops, I picked that pretty fast, actually. I meant to highlight it and look at the rest of the pack, but I still think it's a pretty good card. It's a 4/4 for 4, and if we're aggressive, even if we will hopefully be attacking with enough things that we won't really give them an opportunity to double block. And we'll go ahead and take this Chronicler we were talking about here earlier. We got quite a few targets to bring back with it. Particularly good to bring back Fight with Fire, so you can use Fight with Fire early to take out a creature, and then later in the game, just kick it to finish your opponent off. I guess this, I've never played it. It seems bad, but yeah. So we've only got 11 creatures right now, so I'm definitely down for taking a second Cyclops here. We don't necessarily need 2 Radiating Lightnings. So I think I'm going to take a Short Sword here. We got a lot of creatures with 1 toughness, Squee and the Overseer. I guess that's it, but... Oh, the Sparring Construct. So being able to make them a little bit stronger, I think, will improve the quality of our deck here. I guess Skirt Prospector, but... Unless we end up with a bunch of Goblin Barrages, we don't want it. And even then we don't, because we have Squee. Squee can be sacrificed for a Goblin Barrage all the times that you could need. Oh, where'd my mouse go? Oh, there it goes. Doesn't matter. We're not going to play either of those. Feral Abomination is a playable 6-drop. It's not fantastic. I'd like to find something better to replace it with, but It's not bad to get a playable card this late in the pack. Ooh, a second Squee. Unfortunately, Squee, normally we don't worry too much about the legendaries. The problem is that even if they kill Squee, Squee comes back as Squee, so we don't really need two Squees, particularly not when there's Cast Down in the pack, which is just a premium removal spell. There are a good number of legendaries floating around in Dominaria, but there's also a bunch of other creatures that you'll want to kill for 2 mana at instant speed. The Giant is one of them. So we're just gonna take that. Sierra Angel, I could name threats for days. Warcry Phoenix is a good pickup here. We don't have a lot of flyers, and flyers are pretty important in this format. Ground boards can get pretty locked up, so plus it comes back. Goblin Chain Whirler. We are definitely in a deck that can run Goblin Chain Whirler. We're so heavy in red. Plus right now it's a bit of a value card. I don't know what it's worth, but it's been spiking after the Pro Tour. So that is the pick for us here. Not to mention we don't have a lot of 3-drops. So nothing great in this pack. I'm looking at Soul Salvage because we run pretty aggressive, and so we could run out of steam early, sending in our creatures and chipping away damage. But at the same time, we don't really have fantastic things to actually get back with it. It would just be a bunch of little dudes. But I still think it's the pick here. I don't really like Fire Elemental. Plus, I'd like to keep a pretty low aggressive curve. So let's see, how many historic triggers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think I'm going to go with Cookaball Paladin here. It's an aggressive body as a 4/2, although a little bit late, but we've got enough things that we can chip away some damage in it. Not to mention Squeeze. You can kind of just swing with Squee and either take it or I'll replay it and you'll take 2 anyway. So we're going to try that here. I like Skizzik. So yeah, we're very aggressive here, but Skizzik is a fine 5-drop. It's not actually a 4-drop. Don't be confused. You only ever want to cast it unkicked if you're going to win the game, and even then you need to be sure that they don't have anything. So there's a fine bomb for us. I think we're good with that. I also like the idea of getting up to, say, 7 mana and then sacking a bunch of things and then playing Torgar for 2 and then Garnet to bring all your things back. I don't know in what situation that would be good, but it would be fun and wacky, and I would like to do it. So let's see, we're at 28 cards, well 27 because of the land, so we're gonna cut some things. Let's see, at 18 creatures, I think I'm gonna cut the Soul Salvage as well as these War Callers. The curve is kind of loaded up here at 4. We still got some picks left. Let's see what comes through. I'd really like to do that at 6. See, now we've got, let's see, because we aren't really excited. Oh, hold on. I'll get to that thought in a minute after I snag this dark bargain. Works pretty well for me. You need, refilling your hand is very important in this format. As I said, it gets pretty grindy, so card advantage is important. Not to mention it lets you look at more cards. So where was my thought? Oh, for the Get To Chronicler, we had, when we picked it, only like Fungal Infection and Cast Down and Fight with Fire as options. But now, or no, we had only the Vicious Offering. So now we've got 3 targets for it. That was my thought. We've got 3 targets for the Chronicler now instead of just 2, because I don't particularly consider Fungal Infection a good target. It's just not enough that you want to pay 6 mana to get it back. But if we're paying 6 mana to get back a Vicious Offering, Cast Down, or Fight with Fire, any of those is fine with us. So Squee-Wheeled, I still don't know if we want him because we don't really want 2 of them. But, so, it's either that. I'm not a fan of Lava Runner. We're not really running a huge amount of instants and sorceries. But we are very aggressive. We're going to try the Lava Runner here. I just don't need 2 squeeze. Our opponents are taking a long time to make decisions here. Opponents are not against them at the moment. Well, if I'd have known another Lava Runner was coming around, I probably would have taken Squee. I'll take the second one. Warlord's Fury could have also been the right choice there. Actually, it probably was, because we're trying to go more aggressive, and that would allow us to play less lands because it cycles. I like Run Amok. So let's see, we're at 18 creatures. I'm not a huge fan of Short Sword unless you've got some like equipment synergy going on. I mean, it's fine if you're short on playables, but we are not here. Let's see, I'd kind of like to cut some of the black because we'd like to sort of emphasize and be able to play Chain Whirler. So I think I'm going to cut the Paladin. We've got so many 4-drops here. We don't really need that many, and we don't have a huge amount of historic triggers. I'm also going to cut the Abomination, sort of lower the curve slightly. We lean towards aggressive. We don't really need to be playing a 6-drop that's essentially a vanilla creature. It's got Death Touch, but doesn't do much. Torgar is an 8-drop, but it's not really because of the sacrifice effect. I'll take Lingering Phantom, but I'm going to cut it. So, it's 25 non-land cards here. Thinking maybe it's Sparring Construct, because I've already got other 1-drops, and that'll lead me further into red. And this leaves me with 24. I might try 24 in this deck. And cut that. Oh, because they're in the order that I cut them, not the order that I picked them. I was like, how did we get a pick 3 forest? I wasn't thinking it through. Seismic shift. You don't need that. So I can't decide if I can get away with 24 in this deck. I really only got to get to 4 to Dark Bargain. And I've got so many threats there. I think I'm going to go ahead and try it. And then if it doesn't do well, we may adjust. Does mean that we'll probably never get to kick the fight with fire. We might actually... I think actually maybe we cut 1 fungal infection. So we've got less black 1-drops. It'll make the chain whirler better. And we'll bring it in if we see a lot of X1s. We've already got all our cards, so I'm waiting for them to finish. Oh, I see what's happened here. This player has become disconnected. And so we have to wait for the robot to make their choice. Alright, 24 cards down here, but one of them is a land, so it's really 23. We'll go ahead and add some basics, 10-6. I think I like that split. That seems to work fine for me. We will add them to the deck. And save it. Jump right in. Alright, welcome to round 1. We have won the die roll, so we will go ahead and play first. This hand is fine. We've got things to do. We can go ahead and attack and use our tricks, so we're going to go ahead and keep it. I guess we get a little sad if we top deck Chain Whirler and not a mountain, but I don't know why I said curve. It doesn't really curve, but we've got things to do. Hey, look, that thing that I said happened. Oh, this is quite good. So we're going to go ahead and play a mountain in case we draw the 3rd mountain. And I'm just going to snap Fungal Infection that. I think that just puts us far enough ahead. Next turn we get to play our Icy Manipulator. And so if we top deck a mountain, it'll probably... Nope, okay. If we top decked a mountain, I would swing with both and then Chain Whirler to finish off the Surveyor. Trade the Sapling for the Surveyor. But as it sits now, I'm just going to swing with my Goblin here and then play the Manipulator. They have called the cavalry. That will slow us down. We did not find a land. So, at this point, I don't really think we can do anything. Tap down one of their knights before combat. Mm-hmm. I don't think we take this trade here. We've got creatures in hand that can just block it, so I think we just hold off and let us take the life. That is once again not a land. We are getting punished for playing only 16 here. Given that we're not finding our land drops, I don't think we're going to find our way to being able to kick this, so I think we're just going to cast it and be able to use the manipulator again. Okay. So if they swing with the Trapper, I'll go ahead and take the trade, because they're going to get value out of that. But they probably won't, because they want to keep it around. Yep. They're going to have more historic spells to cast. That's what Joyr's Familiar is for. So, they really want to keep their Trapper alive. Well, at least now here there's something that can block these tokens, although they are most likely going to have another historic spell to tap it down. Hopefully they're going to be running out of stuff. Well, let's have three cards now. Oof. That hurts. That's real bad for us. I still think we need to take this. They're down to 2 cards, so hopefully they'll be running out of historic spells here soon. So here's an interesting thing. We could play the Chain Whirler, but then they probably just tap the Chain Whirler before combat. So I think what we actually want to do is flash in Garna before it blocks. So we're going to go for that. That way we can still eat a creature and they can't. They'll have already tapped the thing before. I suspect. We'll see what happens. Just the flyer. Okay, so I guess they saw through and knew that I had something. In which case, we'll just go ahead and wait until the end of turn. We're still going to cast Garna. We're not going to waste the turn doing nothing. Yeah, that is a big dude. So everything has haste now. Trying to think if there's any way. So if we go for big swings, then they just don't block and then kill us on the crackback. So what's my land? I'll just go ahead and play this. So I've got 6 lands. So I could sack the Saproling to play Togar. And then they tap it before I go to combat. And it doesn't really help much. But then I do have something to block the snapper, which I currently do not. Well, but it doesn't actually get to because they get to tap it. I think I just need to put down as much power as I can. Yeah. So we're going to reduce the cost by sacrificing 1. So now if they want to get through with the turtle, they've got to tap Togar, which means it'll be open for swing on the crackbacks. So hopefully this will... Oh, that's right, they can tap at end of turn. Or before combat. That's right, because it's got haste. Just the flyer. Yep, they're playing it safe. Seems like a good maneuver. So, I now have 8 mana available. Or 7 mana available. So, I can't do both. We're probably gonna cast a Kick Skizzix here. And then next turn, we'll Chain Whirler and, let's see, try an Alpha. Because they're going to put us to 4. And then if we play if we play Skizzix now, they're going to tap down Torgar. So we just discount that. So next turn, it's going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So enough that they're going to have to block. And see if the Chain Whirler will have dealt 1 damage to everything, so Skizzix will get through for at least 1, no matter how they block it. Oh, this math is hard. I think I gotta go for it. Oh, right. Trigger there. So maybe I swing with Bloodstone Goblin here. I get to eat at least 1 thing if they do that, and I don't think that they will. Uh-oh. They got a counterspell. Syncopate for 3. That hurts. Nope, we cannot do that. They did not tap anything down. So now I gotta think here. So if I swing with Togar, they can put Snapper and Knight on it. And that will kill it, but then I'll have both of those down. And if they put the Knight and the Trapper on it, it doesn't kill. So there's no way that I don't get to kill 2 creatures with Togar. And if it's not the Snapper, then it's 3 creatures. So I think we go for it like this. And let's see, where does that leave us on the crackback? Then when they swing back, we can block the Snapper, we can block the Knight, we can block the Trapper, and we take 2, so the 2 in the air, the 1 Knight, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go to 1. Yeah, we will try this. And then they're dead on the crackback, if that is what they do. Oh, crap. Because they can tap down a blocker. Oh, they did double block that guy. Okay. Oh, they can tap down too. So does that mean I'm just dead? Let's see. Take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they've got it. Yep. Alright. So they were playing a lot of bigger things. So I think I want to bring in my Abomination. I'm going to take out my Lava Runners for the Abomination and the Phantom and just sort of drive the curve up. Actually, with that in mind, do I want to bring in a land? Oh no, I did run 17. Alright, we'll submit. Would you like to play first? Yes, I would. I'm stuck again, but it still looks like a fine hand. Getting stuck on 4 last game really hurt us. Sure, draw the 6-drop with only 3 lands in hand. Seems fine. So we probably just jam the Overseer here. It'll probably get syncopated. Oh no. We've got other things to do with our mana late in the game, so. Ooh, that's a much better 4-drop than the one we were gonna play. Hopefully we can get another land and just put on so much pressure next turn by kicking Skizzix. So I think we probably... So we go ahead and swing with both and then run amok. And if they don't block, then we get to play our Cyclops. But either way, this works out pretty well for us, I think. They probably just take it because they think we've got a trick. Oh, it's got double strike? Okay, so if I hit it with run amok right here, it's going to go up to 17, or go up to, so they're going to take, let's see, right now they're going to take 8 and go to, let's not be greedy, it might not be necessary. They're going to take 8 and go to 9. And then next turn, yeah, I don't be greedy. We'll just let the trade happen. And then play our Cyclops. Because they probably don't want to block with the Familiar again. Oh. That's pretty good. But again, they don't want to block with either of these things. And the way that it sits now, they may think they may not have to. Because they got some life gain going on. So now they very much don't want to block. So it's a tough call. I could kick Skizzix here. And if I kick Skizzix, then I'm coming in with 5 with Trample. So if I swing with both, I think I want to hold off and see if I can kill them with a run amok. Didn't win the flip that time. So then they double block here. And then my Run Amok will kill Tatiova, which is a trade that I'm... Actually, am I going to get to kill both of them? So Run Amok is going to bring it up to 5. So no, I just get to kill Tatiova, but I'm completely fine with that trade. Tatiova is a bomb. That's kind of one of the factors why we will want to do this. Plus, it's a 2-for-1 because we take out the Arcane Flight as well. And then next turn we can do the Skizix thing. Yep, and they aren't even going to let it go that long. They probably thought that we didn't have Run Amok because they assumed that we would have cast it last turn on the Double Strike guy just to get more damage in. But I still think it worked out in our favor to do a little bit less there and get more creatures out. Three lands with nothing that can actually be played, but I still think we keep it. I mean, you can play Fungal Infection, but they got to give us a target. I'm going to guess that they cut all of their Knight of Nubenalias. Hey, now we got things to play on turn 4. Now we can play Garna. Oof. We're not gonna fungal. Oh, well. I always forget how that works. We could have Fungal Infection for a trade there. That would have been worth it. Because we Fungal Infection before it blocks. Okay, well maybe that is a relatively decent reason not to, because next turn they're going to play Historic Spell and get that thing right back. Not that we knew that. Tatiova. They probably want to wait. Not play Tatiova until they can get the land. Yep. Can't do anything about that flyer. Yeah, they want to play Tatiova and then make land drop. So we're not gonna... No, we'll go ahead and swing. They'll probably just take it because they don't know that we're gonna flash in Garna. Not that Garna blocks the Trapper, but... So now, my guess is that they were going to play Tatiova and realized that they could just hold up for Syncopate and decided to wait. Maybe they didn't, because now they've played a land. Snapper is good. So we're going to go ahead and play Garna. So life totals are 10 to 16. And if we play... So if they play any historic spell, they get to tap one of our creatures. So I don't want to play Feral Abomination and swing, even though they can't actually block it with the Snapper, because then if they play any historic spell, they tap our creatures and we can't block the snapper effectively. So I think we could also kick Skizix and leave up Fungal Infection. I think we're going to go for that. Because we can already effectively double block the snapper. Really need to draw our Vicious Offering to deal with. Oh, this thing again. So what are they taking? Our Skizix. That seems like the right call. Oh yeah, and they're gonna tap. Okay. We might just be dead this turn now. So we can trade with our own Skizix and take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, so we can't do that. We've got to block Garnet. Yeah, because if we block the snapper here, then we take 5, 6, 7. No, there's no way. Because this soaks up 4 damage and this soaks up 3. My math is not... The way that my brain puts this together says that it should come out different, because here I stop 4 damage and here I stop 3 damage for the trample. So here I take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if I block there, I take 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, the other one was 11. That's how I messed up. One is 1 less than the other, but we're still dead. Oh, wait, unless we... Fungal... Oh, we should have... I keep forgetting Fungal Infection before blocks. We'll go ahead and Fungal Infection this to not die. We're still pretty dead because of that flyer. Oh, if we had 10 mana, this would be fantastic. Let's see, so we've got 7 mana available. We can kill Teshar. We don't have enough to play that and play the Feral Abomination. If we did, we would not be in an awful shape. Or if we had played the Fungal Infection before blocks, we would have been able to trade the Sapling for the Trapper, and then we would be in a decent position because we would be up 2 more life. They would be down a creature, and then we'd be able to kill Teshar. Yeah, it still wouldn't have mattered, I don't think. Yep, that's it. Hey everybody, welcome to round 2. Looks like our opponent has won the die roll. They have chosen to play first. This hand is iffy, but I think I'm going to try it. We're on a draw, and we've got plays to make. Go ahead and open with the Lava Runner. Rather get the creature out than... There's no reason to hold up a trick. I mean, unless they play a X1, then we're just making the wrong move there. So I don't see any reason to actually play the Swamp yet, because we're not... I don't foresee them playing something that we're going to cast it on their turn. So I'd rather play the mountain just in case Chain Whirler comes up. Jousting Lance. Alright, we're getting to the make or break moment here where we need to draw a land. They reached the make or break moment as well, but did not get there. Neither did we. See how many cards do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we don't need to cast Run Amok to avoid discarding. This Lava Runner is doing work. We got there. We'll go ahead and swing first and then play our Cyclops. There's no need to Dark Bargain yet. We've still got plenty to do. We'd rather contribute to the board state than try and get card advantage that really at this point we'd have to discard anyway. Four mana for a Cabal Paladin. So here we'll go ahead and jam. They will probably choose not to block because they probably feel like the Cabal Paladin plus the Lance is a thing that they need to get going in order to win. Oh, but they do feel like they can win this trade here, which is not what's going to happen because, let's see, so Run Amok will bring our toughness up to 5. Yeah. Obviously using double a red because we have the 2 fungal infections. They play another 4/2. We'll just kill it end of turn. Juggernaut. Whew, that is a card. So probably... So if I swing with just the Cyclops and then double fungal infection, then we kill it. And it's the same thing actually for the Lava Runner. Double fungal infection will kill it. So we'll go ahead and swing with both. Actually, no, we don't want to swing with the Lava Runner because then it ends up being a 3-for-1. This way it's still a 2-for-1, but I don't think they're actually going to take it. Yeah, that's what I thought. And then we will just cast Fight with Fire. So we could try and play our Acolyte, but really what happens there is we don't actually win that trade because they're going to lance up. So what I actually want to do here is I think just jam out the Phoenix and just put more pressure on. We're still at 20, so they are not in a good position either way, no matter what happens here. Okay, so they're going to trade there. They've got Forebear's Bleed in their deck. That's good to know. Arcanist. You have a second Arcane Flight on it. How does that help you not die? Because one of my creatures isn't lethal. Oh, but this will do it because this guy is online. Yes, we will do that. So that worked out pretty well. I don't see any changes that need to be made. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We'll go ahead and keep this. Oof. Well, there goes our only creature. I think we still jam out the mountains first in case of Chain Whirler coming up. So now we do run the swamp, and we'll probably fungal infection their construct in response to whatever they play. Okay. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take 2. That's fine. So we're not really blocking here anyway. So we'll go ahead and swing. I don't really want to sack this to the Vicious Offering at the moment. It's a race that we don't win, but at the same time, we're not blocking anyway, so... Oof, okay. So we need to hold up to Vicious Offering in response to whatever they try and cast that on. Or attach it to, not cast it on. So now we will go ahead. So we don't need to kick it, so that's good news. And then next turn we'll be able to Icy Manipulator and tap it, so we've actually got that Forebear's Blade locked down. Well, they'll still have it up for blocking because of the way that the Voltaic Servant works, but we're still doing okay. That works for me. So I'm going to go ahead and try and swing first because I still get them with the run amok. And then I'm going to wait until they try and equip again and then cast the cast down. We have drawn all of the lands. There's a fine card to draw, finally. We're going to kick Skizzix. So they have Syncopate. Nope. I think we're looking like we're in a pretty good position here. Okay. At this point, I'm going to start sandbagging the lands. I've got enough on the battlefield that I don't really need any more. If I draw another one, I'm only going to hold on to one because I do want to get enough to kick Fight with Fire. But if I draw Fight with Fire, then I can just play the land that I've been sandbagging. Ooh, they've got lots of mana available now. What they're going to do with it, I don't know. So we'll go ahead and do this first. Oh. See what we pitch into there. Alright, well, that Overseer... Well, no, because they don't have any creatures, so we're fine with that. Declare this guy is an attacker. Okay. So let's see, how many lands are we at now? We're at 5, 6, 7, 8, so we just need one more to kick this Fight with Fire for the win. So we're feeling pretty good about this right now. They're probably going to tap down our Acolyte. Yep. As long as they haven't been sitting on Syncopate, which I doubt they are, because they would have used it on Skizik. There's their own Windgraced Acolyte. Yep, that's gonna happen. So, they got one black up? Yeah, I think we just go for it. Do that. We win! Welcome to round 3. Our opponent has won the die roll. Let's see. It's a little heavy, but I think I'll keep it. So go ahead and open with the Mountain in case the Chain Whirler comes around. Slow hand isn't looking too great here. Top decking the Chain Whirler, no. So, I don't actually think we want to play the Overseer here. It doesn't block any of these things, and it doesn't get in. So it's just kind of a dead card on the battlefield. So I think I'm just going to hold up and wait to see if I can kick it. I'll play the Cyclops next turn. I mean, if we didn't have plays going forward into turns 4 and 5, then I would definitely jam down the Overseer. But as it sits now, I don't see any reason for that. Now we will run down the Cyclops. Should hopefully put a stop to their whatever they've got going on for a little while. They may finally play something bigger. It's a 5 mana is a prime number to play big things. Okay, well, now we've got something we want to target with Fight with Fire. Two cards in hand. Do I think one of them is Adamant Will? I don't think so. If not, we'll make him show it to me. It is. Okay, now we've got tough calls to make. So we're at 7. I think we have to... If they've got a historic spell in their hand, we just lose, because they then get to discard that to keep the Sanctum Spirit alive, and then next turn swing for lethal. If we play Skizzix, then Skizzix doesn't get to trade with it because of first strike. Yeah, any of our other cards just lead to us losing slower. So we need to go with Fight with Fire, because if they've got the discard, then we lose next turn. Otherwise, we lose later. And this gives us the best chance of actually coming out of it. They did not have anything. Oof, that's a way better target to Fight with Fire. I guess they didn't see that they had it if they discarded. Because they could have discarded Tatiova to keep the Sanctum Spirit alive, and then they would have just won this turn. So let's see. I think we've got 6 mana available. So we have to cast 2 creatures as blockers, otherwise we lose. So I guess we've got to play Bloodstone Goblin and the Overseer. That's a big boy. Get in with the unblockable. So we're 1 historic trigger away from... So we have the ability to both... Can we play Skizzix and Vicious Offering? Yeah, we're at 7 mana, so we have just enough to do both. which I think is what we've got to do. You don't really get to do anything with that trigger. And depending upon how things go here, we may need to Vicious Offering the Relic Runner if they have a historic spell. Yep, so let's see what they do. If they don't know that we have Vicious Offering, they may attack with less. I think a swing out means that it's lethal, so we can, yeah, we can't soak up enough trample damage, even if we kill the Relic Runner. That's just it. No need to show them the Vicious Offering that we had. If they'd swung with just the runner, then we would have been able to live through with a turn. But they saw that they had it even through their trick there. So Relic Runner did work, but I don't think that's a reason to bring in another fungal infection. We didn't see any other X ones. So I don't know that there's anything that we need to do here, so we'll just jam with it. I will play first. A 2-lander is iffy, but I'm going to keep it because I've got plays. We get a mountain, then we're doing just fine here. If we get a 4th one, then we're doing great. Oh yeah, we got there. So we'll go ahead and swing first. See if they've got anything. Out comes Squee for the first time in the draft. Could have gotten in for more with the Warcry Phoenix, but yeah, I'd rather get away with this because I don't think they're going to see it coming. Given that I'm strapped on lands, no, I don't want to run the Overseer. I've got enough on the board. It can come out later. It's hasty whenever it does hit the battlefield. At this point, I only want to swing with things that trade with that Sanctum Spirit. If they've got a discard to keep it alive, that's fine, because I still eliminate a card from my effort. They flooded, I guess. Yeah, Garna is good. It might be Raff here. Nope, Raff. They discarded their Tatiyova. Okay. I am perfectly satisfied for that. I also think I might just jam Garna here to get my... Okay, yeah. So yeah, with that in mind, I'm definitely going to jam Garna to get my Goblin back. That's going to put me ahead, because they used 2 cards in that combat and eliminated 2 of my things, but I got 1 of them back. So I came out on top of that combat. Yeah, we'll just do Cyclops and swing. Only want to swing with these 2 because this is the only profitable trades that I make. Squee comes back and the Cyclops gets to kill enough good things. So let's see, what do we got? If I take out Sanctum Spirit, so let's see if they've got a thing that keeps it alive. So if I take out the Familiar instead, I swing out. They block the most damage, which is 4 here, and take 3, 4, 5, because that's going to be online. 6, 7, 8, and they're going to go to 7 off the light blink. I think that does it. Okay, target this. 1, 2, 3. And then the Goblin, because the Goblin has haste. Attack with all. So, if I done my math wrong? Let's see. Nah. Okay. Worked that time. This is a tough call. I think I'm going to mulligan it, because my deck gets hurt by being flooded, and 2-headed giant, not quite good enough. This one I like better. All I gotta do is get to 4. That's going to help me get to 4. Oh, yes. Always love it when your fungal infection just kills a creature. Garna is a good draw, assuming that we can get to 5 lands. Ooh, that main phase. That must have been what they drew. They put one on the bottom. Okay, they found their land for turn. Which they needed to play that guy. Cool, so we got the land. We can jam out our Cyclopses. They can get through the Druid. Fortunately, neither our Lava Runner or our Saproling can. We'll go ahead and swing first. They had Adamant Will game 1, so they could have it here again. But we'll get it out of their hand. Just gonna take it. That's surprising. I thought they would have had a trick. Okay. I don't understand, because they're not going to win this race, and it doesn't help it block the Cyclops. Oh, and now I just get to 2-for-1 them. That's fine. Now we've actually got a target for our Chronicler here. Should we ever get to 6 mana. They're down to 3 cards, and we've still got heat in our hand. I think this is working out well for us. I mean, they could refill, but they got to take a whole turn off to do it, which they cannot afford to do at this point. Yeah, no, you're just dead now. I've got more than enough power on board where you're going to draw that you can play for 1 mana. Yep, excellent. Thanks for joining, everybody. If you liked the video, remember to like and subscribe.